Hi, Tara here, talking about two big things that I work on with a lot of people in session when it comes to relationships, and really about how to set up for a healthy relationship and something that's going to be longer lasting, or fix some of the old patterns that people get stuck in. So the two things that I really address in session with individuals is doing their own work and knowing what they want. These are two areas that people often neglect. When we're in a relationship, in a partnership, we're often focused so much on the other person and what they're doing or not doing for us or right, that we really neglect to do our own work. A lot of people haven't really been taught or shown what a healthy relationship looks like either, and so that's one of the bigger problems, that we're getting our information from faulty sources. Hollywood does a really terrible job of helping us understand what a healthy relationship might look like. In fact, within 90 minutes, somebody will have endured the most toxic relationship patterns that nobody should even be, living through, and they'll wrap it up and live happily ever after at the end of it. They give us cliches like, you complete me, or if you follow your heart, everything will be okay. Marriage counseling has some of them really fall into the deficiency-based pattern of bonding, which is your partner should be seeking to meet your needs and filling your love tanks. And some of that stuff has relevance. We want to know what our partner responds to and what makes them tick and what makes them feel loved and appreciated. But really, the premise behind all of that is garbage. The premise is that we need someone else to make up for what we're lacking in ourselves, and you don't. And so this is where this point comes in, doing your own work, because the truth is, and I'm by no means a relationship cynic, I'm a swoonable romantic, but I'm definitely a realist. And the truth is this, the truth is it is nobody's job to fix you, to complete you, to fill you, to make you feel satisfied, healthy, happy, not lonely, but you. It's your job. And until you really get comfortable with the fact that you're responsible and accountable for your own life and your own emotions and your own patterns and your history, because you're the only one that can do the work on them. Until you get really comfortable with that, you're going to end up setting yourself up for this chronic pattern of putting all this pressure on a partner to fill for you what you're lacking. And that's so unfair. Nobody can fill up what you need to be doing for yourself. And when you do that work for yourself, it will really transform every other part of your life. I mean it. But especially your relationships. So then you can give out of abundance and out of positivity, and you're not, acting from a place of fear and insecurity, which are so toxic for relationships in the first place. You're coming from a solid place where you're very present and you know really how to love someone without being crippled. And a lot of people will say, well, I have baggage. Well, I have trust issues. Anybody that's had a relationship history has trust issues and has, can claim baggage, but really it's an excuse. It's a crutch to not do your own work. Why do you have baggage? You shouldn't have baggage if you've done your own work, because you've worked through what that disappointment and that heartbreak was for you, what it did to you, what your role was in it, and you've cleared it, and then you can make a conscious choice to go forward. And you might feel anxious, but how about learn how to work through that anxiety without backing out and calling it an issue? Everybody's got issues until you work through them. Be responsible, be accountable. There's no room for excuses like that anymore. I mean, it's time that we all really look at how we got to where we got to and take responsibility for that, so we can move forward and change the future if we're not happy with how the past has gone. The other thing that I talk about is really knowing what you want. And so a lot of people haven't done this. If I ask them what they're really looking for, they kind of shrug or, I don't know. Well, how have you chosen your other partners? And they're like, oh, well, they just kind of showed up and kind of made the best of it. This is wrong. This is all wrong. You need to know what you want. And it should not be a checklist. In fact, if it's a checklist, I want you to get rid of it right now, because people don't fit into boxes. Nobody's going to be perfect and fit everything that you need and everything that you want. And it's not fair to kind of reduce somebody to a list in the first place. What that does is it inhibits you and prevents you from really being able to be playful and curious and explore what makes somebody else unique. The list that I'm talking about is really just being aware and conscious of the things that you need in a detailed and concrete way that are important to you, the value systems, the way somebody spends their leisure time, the kind of hobbies you want to do together, the kind of space you need from each other, the kind of independence you might need from a partner, or the kind of closeness that you need, how you want to spend your retirement, how you want to spend your Sunday mornings. You really want to know what's important to you. And the reason you want to do this is because it's the opposite of what most of us do, which is we all know what we don't want. We've had terrible experiences. We've all been disappointed. There's an easy list of what we don't want. But if we know that what we focus on gets bigger, then the more you focus on your issues, your heartache, the things that you don't want, you're more likely to attract that. Focus on what you really do want and be flexible with it, so that when you meet somebody, you're accepting them for who they are, because please don't try and change anybody from who they are. But when you do that, you have a better chance of attracting the person that's going to be right for you, recognizing them when they show up, and really being able to embrace them as part of a relationship. Keep focused on this. Really understand that you deserve this, and that this is part of what what you value about yourself. So if you really want a steak dinner and all of that, the ambiance and a good view and dessert and wine that goes with it, hold your focus, because you can walk out the door and what can happen is Domino's Hot and Ready Pizza shows up. What are you going to do? It's hot and it's ready and it's right in front of you. You can get pizza from anywhere, and it's going to be varying degrees of decent. But is that all you want? Sure, you can have both, whatever. But what's really going to satisfy you? What do you want? Isn't it time that you start being honest about what you want, what you should get out of a relationship, for it to be healthy, happy, and as long-lasting as you want it to be? These are important things. You need to really value yourself and hold focus to that. A healthy relationship is two people that have done their work, and they're not going to be perfect, but they're not coming from issues and insecurities and all of these toxicities that drive people into couples counseling in the first place. If you are healthy in yourself and really knowing that you're looking for that in a partner, then what can happen is you're giving out of abundance. It's positive, it's secure. Communication patterns seem to become healthier just from that alone. And then you get the best of what relationships are supposed to be for us, which is really, you have a secure base and a safe haven. And in between those times, you have all of the strength and the support that you need to be the warrior of your own life. And then you get to come back to it. That's what it's supposed to be. If you don't do the work, if you don't know what you want, really hard to find it. No excuses. Get to work. I hope you're well. I'll see you soon.